So Wiseguys shows messages of John teaching him how he scams his fans, like his own fans, John's personal fans, with an Xbox giveaway. And Mike, aka Wiseguys, he ends up laughing, that like surprised that John would even do that. So a couple messages after that, John ends up bringing up Jitman and him getting erased from Wiseguys sponsorship. So John texts Mike and tells him that please continue to sponsor him because he's you know, basically saying that he has mental illnesses to some degree, which I do agree with, but I'll give my opinion at the end. So he uses that to kind of throw sympathy towards Jitman's ways so that Wiseguys or Mike will continue to sponsor him. Even though Wiseguys is saying that John, he himself is the reason why he won't even sponsor Jitman anymore. So as a last resort, what John ends up doing, he ends up throwing shade and saying a bunch of things about Enzo and Xena and Brick Boy, so that Wiseguys could not sponsor them as well. He's kind of trying to play at his morals in a sense, because John, he stopped sponsoring Jitman because people were DMing Wiseguys saying your artist Jitman is scamming me for $25, $30, $40, which I was well aware of because that he didn't scam me, but I already knew that man's a perky taker, and during that time he kind of was really off it, and it's like I just be feeling bad for smacking sometimes. But you know, Jitman is still funny though, I ain't gonna lie. He said we're gonna get into that at the end. But to get back on topic, so John goes ahead and throws shade towards Enzo, Xena, and Brick Boy, saying, well, you're gonna keep Xena, Enzo, and Brick Boy, but they're also scamming too. I have messages. I know people who come to my studio and they've said and claimed how Enzo and Xena and Brick Boy have scammed, you know, So he's kind of trying to say, well, if you're gonna do this to Jitman, then you got to do it with the rest of them too. You got to keep it fair. While through texting, John goes and shoots a message to Mike, aka Wiseguys, and he basically has like this troll, or not really a troll, but he wants to get Check the Stars number exposed. So he has this idea of, you know, we're gonna put I can't even pronounce. It's some kind of monkey, like it's some monkey. He was gonna promote it on Craigslist and then put the number on it, like, oh, I have a free monkey for sale, blah blah. So even though people are calling for the monkey, it's like a troll basically, like someone from the outside is putting in a troll for themselves to laugh, and both parties don't know what's going on. Check doesn't know what's going on, as well as the person who sees the ad doesn't know what's going on. So John, he ends up texting Mike, Wiseguys, if he thinks that this would be a good idea. So Mike ends up liking the idea, and he ends up telling John, what you need to do is send me the layout so that, you know, whenever, like whatever you have, I'm gonna just post it on Craigslist and pay for it one time. They also get to talking about the Island Boys, and they talk about Island Boys and Check the Star, because this was around the time that Check the Star, he kind of was like clout. I didn't even really like Check the Star, but for this video I gotta keep my opinions out of it until the end. So Check the Star, he ends up being a clout chaser and being around the Island Boys. So John and Mike look for ways to plot to see them fail, like to get them to both, you know, both parties have them looking bad, or just fail in general, looking like an L on the internet. So Wiseguys ends up texting John and tells him how the Island Boys and Poker the Jew said to him, or said on a video, that John is a fake manager and Wiseguys is a fake company, basically, or like a fake sponsor. And John ends up clapping back. I'm gonna put up the clip so you can see. So John ends up talking on the disloyalty that he received from people within the Instagram Live community. I remember he also said something about how his experience with most people within the community is bad, so he likes to stay by himself. But that's like a later clip. John sees it as he's received disloyalty from people who he's helped the most, or helped within his means that he tried his best to help. So Mike, aka Wiseguys, he ends up liking Brick Boy. Like, not liking him, but he likes his music or his personality within the Instagram Live community. So he tries to get John to motivate him, because he wants to sponsor Brick Boy, or not even just sponsor him, but he just wants to see Brick Boy be consistent within music and making content and going on Instagram Lives and stuff like that. He could only really do so much. Brick Boy has to be the one who has the motivation to want to come to the studio, because he knows that when he comes to John's studio, recording studio, that he won't charge Brick Boy. Like, Brick Boy can come for free and he'll do a little hour or 2 hours to get, you know, just for him to. So John is basically saying that when he does end up coming to the studio, he doesn't come with the motivation like he wants to make music. It's usually something to do with a feature that he's just trying to do for the money, or he's just not really focused. Like, he got other priorities. So John and Mike, they both end up talking about Joker and the Joker gang, basically, and how they used to feel bad for him, or more John used to feel bad for Joker gang, but not anymore, because they look at it as like he put himself in that situation. Like, John kind of throws sympathy for saying like alcoholism is real, and you know, he kind of, when I went to go see him back when I was on my way from Georgia, I went to go see his spot and he was just living terribly. You could tell that he wasn't really doing good, and everything was going on between his face, and but they end up not really feeling bad for him though, and they kind of want him to stop doing the little spin wheel game that he used to do. For anybody who used to watch Instagram Live games, you know, Joker used to do this little wheel, spin the wheel game with the fans or whatever. So Mike and John kind of wanted him to stop doing that, as well as bringing up Gianna and Montasha on the live. They wanted to stop bringing them on the live. Like, stop. Joker needs to stop doing the wheel game, and on top of that, he needs to stop bringing Gianna and Monty up on the live. That's how they both were feeling. So John and Mike end up talking about Waizi, and John basically wants to know, how did Wise Guys go about making Waizi fall off, or blackballing Waizi, or, you know, just getting at Waizi in any kind of way. And I'm gonna put up the clips. He talks about how he had people in group chats, or his sponsors in group chats, and like they would, you know, play these games or whatever, and like if they was to see, or if they got wind that anybody within these group chats was watching his live, or shared his live or anything like that, they weren't gonna, like, Wise Guys was gonna cut sponsorship, he was gonna cut payments. So him doing that, people kind of was more incentivized to go and watch what Wise Guys had going on instead of Waizi, because they look at it as like, hey, well, Wise Guys, we having fun over here, we're talking about the Instagram live community, and I'm getting paid for it, so why would I want to go and watch Waizi when I could go and watch Wise Guys? John basically ends up talking bad about Aaron Carter, as well as Check the Star, and he ends up exposing, I think, So John ends up telling Wise Guys about things that he's done, and he basically exposed Check the Star, and he clowns on Aaron Carter. And John ends up telling Wise Guys how he exposes and violates, like, he ends up doing the most to this Instagram banner kid. Like, there was a little period within the community where people were able to, you know, get Instagrams deleted. So he was one of the people, or I guess the kid, who knew how to do it. So he ended up trying to like go at John and use John as like his first victim. So John ends up using everything in his power to go at him. That I think his name is That's Band's kid, or like, nah, just That's Band's. That's his name. But he's a kid though, so I guess John was going at him and just saying the worst and going crazy on him. Like, one of the examples was like, he tried to put John on the news. Like, he tried to like make up like a faulty news report and like get it somewhere to where people would see it and think like, oh man, this is terrible news, and this is John, and this is real, oh man. So that was like one of the ways That Band's kid was trying to get at John. And I'm gonna put up the clip so you can see. after they get to talking about that, John ends up talking to, having like a little heart to heart, and basically the same thing how I said before, but he kind of reiterates it and says how his experience for most of the people who go on Instagram Live has been bad. So for he himself, that's why when he goes live, he doesn't really tend to bring people on live, especially people who he might feel to be messy. They get to talk a little bit more, and they have like this podcast that they're trying to, bring about. He wants to use Jay Wavy and Toxic Fairy to kind of promote this cologne, but as well, boost the podcast up, because during, I guess, that time, Toxic and Jay Wavy, they kind of were having drama and beef, because they were together, then they weren't together. So, and then Fly kind of wanted to get back with Toxic. So Wiseguys and Mike was basically talking on Wiseguys and John were basically talking about everything concerning that. And he ends up trying to, not trying to, but seeing if Wiseguys can help him purchase some equipment. And he was going to do it like a split. He was going to, hey, any work you need for me to do, I'll do. And if you can get this for me, even though it's for both of us, that'll be great if you can get it, because then, he can move along with his, equipment or whatever it is. And, to be honest, I can understand that to an extent. And this is why, like, I kind of, like, Wiseguys kind of came in the game wrong in terms of his sponsorships. Like, he was giving out sponsorships to the wrong people. Like, I got screenshots of all the threads of how many times this man was sending out Enzo and Jay Wavy and all these people. He was sending out a lot of money. And to me, it's like, for this camera right here, the reason why I couldn't even do this video in the first place was because, or not even do this video, the reason why I took so long to get back on YouTube for my main channel as well, for the Pluggy Plugger channel, was because I didn't have this camera. Now I have a camera and a phone to where I can kind of use the both, so I can actually work better, and I can actually produce content that people will kind of, like, from the eyes would want to watch. It's not going to look choppy. The quality is not going to look bad. So it took me some time to get the money to pay for this. So in my eyes, I'm looking at it as like, if Wiseguys was sponsoring the YouTubers who were posting the Instagram Live people, and let's say if he was sponsoring like John to an extent, he could have this comfort that his money is going to be going in the right place, because the people who do YouTube, it's not easy work. So their mentality is already different. They're not going to be coming like how Enzo and them, where they just go on a phone, go live, and then they have this surface level way of thinking. The people who do the YouTube, they're the ones that's really thinking analytically, like, okay, well, if I drop this at this time, it might do this kind of views. Well, this if I title it like this, it might not do this. Okay, well, let me instead of let me post this now, let me wait a little bit, because with within time, the timeline might get to a point to where it could support this. So if I post this during this time, I might get more, like the YouTubers and the people behind the scenes who make the Instagram Live people look good, we're the ones that get overshadowed. But if I had, because remember, me and Wiseguys also were texting too. So I'm gonna put up the threads and the messages between me and him. And I was mainly sending him voice notes. So you're not really gonna hear what I said, but based off of his response, you'll know what I said. And then I also put it in the video to where I will explain what I have said too. But I basically was talking to Wiseguys, and I was telling him that I was gonna drop this video, bro. I'm talking about January of 2022 or January, like it was very, like, a long time ago. I'd been told Wiseguys I was gonna have this video out, but how I thought things were going to work out in terms of money and where I was at the time, I'm thinking that, okay, it was going to work out and then I could just do the videos, but it didn't end up working that way. So now I had to end up putting in that work and doing all these little extra things to try and find a way for me to make money, to then go ahead and purchase the camera while also having money, while also working to, or finding a way to make money to where I could also have bread on the side, like, just tucked, like not tucked, but for me and my bank account or whatever. So that takes time. Money doesn't just fall off trees. You kind of have to work to get it. So imagine if me and Wiseguys had that rapport, and then he was able to give me the money to buy the camera, then I bought the camera and dropped the video. Imagine how much videos and how far along we would have came in terms of content. And remember, pushing Wiseguys' brand, or not even just his brand, but just getting him out there, because now he would have a platform to want to talk about, and him having the platform through me or through whoever YouTuber he decides to sponsor, for him having that platform, now it might boost more of an engagement with the Instagram Live community. So now it's bringing more views all around. But you got to talk to somebody who knows what they're doing in terms of the YouTube aspect of things. So I do understand, John, like I kind of feel as though Mike tried to put that in there to kind of make John look as though he was begging. But to an extent, I can't agree with John, because equipment do be expensive, and it's like, if Wiseguys is saying that he himself is coming in this game to sponsor people, like this is what he's here to do, then it just only makes sense to sponsor somebody who wants to buy equipment, or what I'm trying to say? Like, he doesn't necessarily have to order it himself, but hey, get the money, and then when the money comes, when the package comes, he can see like, hey, I ordered it, thank you, Wiseguys. And then, you build that trust from there. That's how I would look at it. So in a nice kind of way, like, John tries to get information on, like, if Wiseguys is or will potentially manage Jay Wavy. And Wiseguys ends up telling John that, hey, I don't really want to manage Jay Wavy. I'm not really a manager. I only wanted to sell and promote my products through Jay Wavy's platform, or through Jay Wavy's YouTube channel, which again, to me, doesn't make sense. And then you also have to kind of take into account too that they bought their Instagram followers. So even though when they bought their Instagram followers, their YouTube analytics are not going to be real, because they're going to most likely try and bot that too. So it's like, you kind of have to deal with the person based off of the integrity of the person, because if they're gonna bot views, if they're gonna bot Instagram likes and Instagram views and Instagram followers to such extent to where they try to make themselves look like a celebrity, now when they post on YouTube, it doesn't match what they have on their Instagram. So Wiseguys, you wanted to sponsor Jay Wavy to push your products through his YouTube channel, doesn't make sense, because he's not reaching far. And I'm gonna put up, matter of fact, I'm gonna put up my own analytics of what my main channel, like the main channel where most of my videos where my face was on it. I'm gonna show you the analytics for that.
Give me that. This is crazy. Yo, next subject, man.
I mean, listen, I give you a W.
Yeah, well, a W for that?
I mean,
nah, man.
Yeah, you get like a partial.
A partial W? Yeah. All right, man. Wait, here. So, like, what's my topic again, Josh?
And I wasn't botting nothing. I wasn't doing. That's why most of you who may watch this may not even know who I am. Who might be like, oh, well, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'll show you on my main Ask Lou channel. The analytics, it matched up. So now it's like, not only for the lives that I was posting before my face. So now if Wiseguys wanted to push his brand or whatever on my channel, it makes it much more easier, because especially if he has merch, or I can make a little makeshift, because I don't mind, investing in myself a little bit. Make a little makeshift merch, like I'll make a logo or whatever, see if Wiseguys like it. It doesn't have to be the actual brand logo, but I think he came up with his own logo, so he could send me the logo that he has, and then I would have got a nice little hoodie, printed it on there, thing like that. So, and where in my videos, shout out Wiseguys, this is I'm trying to say, like, you have to work with people who's smart, like Jay Wavy, Enzo, these is like, they're privileged people. So it's like, even Jitman, John tries to give like Jitman like a out, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, at a certain point, what's right from wrong. So you cannot blame like, oh, well, his mom and his life, because trust me, bro, I've had a terrible upbringing too. I didn't have drug addict parents or nothing, but poverty, like strong poverty, I grew up under. And I wasn't going around acting out and then saying, oh, well, because of my parents or because how I was raised. Like, you gotta man up, because as a man, that's what makes you more attractive, when you're able to go through the shit that you have to go through, and you're not letting it bother you. You're still able to, give a little smile. You're still able to crack a little joke. You're not letting it get to you. But when you're moving like Jitman, it's like, come on. You got to work with people who is more geared to want to, you know, who want to work with you. These privileged kids, because that's why I put Jitman in there, because he has a privileged kid mindset. Like, you know, you're scamming your fans. Like, these are short-term privileged kids. An adult doesn't think like that, because it's like, that's not conducive to your overall career. So why would I want to go and scam my fans when these are the same people who I want to like my music? It just don't make no sense. So it's like, screw the skin color, screw all that. Wiseguys, if you're going to come into this game on business. And if you're going to, and I'm not saying that he didn't, but, you know, you gotta stand on business. You know, stand on business in the sense of, don't say, oh, well, you know, I'm an Italian guy, I'm an Italian brand. And I'm not saying that this is what he was doing, but I'm saying, like, maybe if that was a little factor in what he want and his reasoning. For me, I look at it as like, you have to just come straight on business and deal with the person for the person. Because, for instance, shout out to Big Out Prince Hype, funny, cutting up, Clown J Wavy, best man coming to Instagram Live. But he was getting a sponsorship from Wiseguys, and then went and bought a chain. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it just don't add up. Like, if I was getting a sponsorship, ain't no way. I don't give a damn. I don't give a flying, bro. I don't care. I am not buying with sponsorship money. That is money that I'm saving. Like if I'm getting sponsored, that is money that I'm saving. I'm not about to go and just blow that all on drugs and then be hitting a Wiseguys phone. Can you give me money because and try and make up some kind of lie? And it's like, and I'm saying this to say that, like, it's not just white people, it's not just black people, it's not just Asians or Mexicans. Everybody do it. So it's like, don't go based off of the race. If you want to push your brand, because you're, as a businessman, your goal is eyes. That's it. Like, because you don't know who's talking to what, who think that. You don't know how YouTube work, the algorithm, and you don't know the person who's posting on the channel. So you have to go off of the person. Okay, well, you know, is this person, when they upload, okay, is it making sense? Okay, so I'm giving this person money here and there, and even though I'm giving this person sponsorship, he or she is not hounding my phone down trying to get more money from out me, or, you know, you know, it's like, and then you work with that. Okay, cool. So and then you go and see what kind of ideas that this person has. So what kind of ideas do you have, or what kind of thing? Because, you know, for me, you know, I'm Wiseguys, so I kind of want to have this podcast, and, you know, there's a merch line that I'm trying to do, and I want to kind of make Wiseguys a brand to where it's malleable. So if I want to open up a gym and name it Wiseguys, people will know of it and will want to come to the gym. If I have a merch clothing line named Wiseguys, I want to, and I'll be like, oh, okay, Wiseguys, cool. So you know what? How about this? If you know, you already gave me some money from the sponsorship, so I'll take a little bit of that. I'll go and make myself a little t-shirt. You know, send me a logo that you want to see on the t-shirt, on the thing, and I'm gonna wear it in my reactions, and I'm gonna thing, and we could put a link down or whatever to where they could probably buy it. And what we'll do is again, we're not gonna rush it. So in the sense that we'll see who will want to buy it and get like a tally. And once we get a tally, then from there we can know, okay, how much shirts to make, or how much hoodies to make, or is this a right way to go, or, you know, and we take it up from there. But you can't come in with this you can't come in this space, or in this content space, and be working with people just because they have the numbers, or just because they may be able to relate with you, maybe because of race, or the music taste, or age, or whatever. Like, you have to, there's no biases, but that's why they say business is business. Like, it has to make sense. It has to make money at the end of the day. So you can't really go off of what you feel. You have to go of what you know and what you can understand. So, and again, I'm not saying that Wiseguys doesn't know any of this, because Mike, or aka Wiseguys, he knows this man, he was able to run a company. He himself has been through things in life as well. So I'm not discrediting or trying to come off like I'm trying to teach Wiseguys, or I'm more just putting Wiseguys onto game. Like, hey, if this is what you really want to do, and I see where you're trying to go with this, but if this is what you're really trying to do, you have to invest in people that are their mind is wired for this. Like, they're wired on the business note. You can't just bring a person like Enzo or J Wavy, and all they want to do, they're like pussycats, or not pussycats, but you know, like the you know, like how them girls in the movies, like the little mean girls, the movies, like, and I'm not saying that, but you know, the movies like that where they have them little posh dogs, like the little doggies that, like, you know, they just get the dog. You can tell the dog is just pampered, and the girl herself is pampered, and they just have this, you know, this vibe. Like, dude, that's the kind of people that Enzo and J Wavy. That's why, like, again, I'm not throwing shots at J Wavy, but that's why, from, again, objectively, from a standpoint looking in, that's why Jay Wavy, he don't know what he want to be. One minute he want to be a gangster, and the next minute he want to be a vampire. The next minute he want to be a Tumblr kind of selfie boy. Then so it's like he looks like to me it's like it looks kind of a clown or a day room, because you're not being consistent with anything. And then it's like how you're dealing with people and how people say that their interactions are with you are negative. So people look at you like, hey, this man's a clown. But I'm not saying that he's a clown, but from objective facts, from what I was able to see within the Instagram space, that's what I would think of Jay Wavy if I didn't speak to him at all, but I just seen him based solely off of the internet. So once they get done talking on Jay Wavy about how Wiseguys doesn't want to manage him, Wiseguys ends up talking about certain ideas that he has for Enzo, and like certain things, like he used to drive like a U-Haul truck, so he wants to like get a little U-Haul truck, maybe fill the pool, or get like a little kiddie pool or something like that, fill the pool up with water, and then, you know, have them drive on like a dirt road, or, you know, sounds fun, you know, and they drive around, and, you know, they're all oiled up, falling and moving like fish in a barrel, basically. You know, Wiseguys, he came with some good ideas, and John, he was in support of it, but he kind of was again, and what I feel like, but I don't, it's 50-50. I kind of feel like John knows Enzo, so it's like, yeah, you have these great ideas, but it's just not even worth it. But then it's, again, I also feel as though it's like a 50-50 end, to where he's more like, you know, since he doesn't want to help me and Jitman, because, like, you know, that's one thing I could really give to John, because there was a time where Jitman was really like, and that's why, like, John even saying that Jit is mentally ill, he has the right to say, because there was a time on Instagram Live where Jitman would literally like violate John, like John, you this, he's a fat racker and all this, and he could suck dick and nara, and he, like, Jitman was going crazy, and this man was literally like, this man's like a father to Jitman, damn near. That's how I'm looking at it. So it's like, it's wild to me, like how Jitman could, I don't know, but so I more took it as like, why John, he's more of like, okay, well, since you don't want to help me and Jitman, it's like, yeah, I'm in support, like I'm gonna play neutral, like, yeah, I'm in support of you helping Enzo, but Enzo may not really do it, because, you know, Enzo's not really a hard worker, blah blah. And again, what he's saying is objective truth. Like, I watched Instagram Lives, I know Enzo personality, and Enzo's a kind of person, this is why I said you have to be wired for this. Someone like me, you don't gotta tell me to do a video, you gotta tell me to upload on YouTube, you don't gotta tell me to make content, you don't gotta it's a round the clock thing, I'm just doing it. So if someone put a bag behind me and you have a brand that you want to push, we're helping each other out, because I'm already on my mission. So if I'm already on my mission and you're helping me out to get to my mission faster, why wouldn't I want to help push your brand or push you out? But you can't, the kids like Enzo and Jitman and Wavy and certain people who come onto the Instagram Live, they're not going to understand that. They don't know that kind of mentality. So again, I agree with John in the sense of him kind of not trying to be in too much of support of Enzo in terms of content, because I remember Enzo and Matt, aka Green Hat Guy, shout out to Matt, he's the best, like, he's the reason why I started watching the Florida IG live scene. Enzo and Matt were supposed to do a video, like, they were supposed to do reactions videos for the longest, and they only dropped like 1 or 2. And I know Green Hat Guy, well, he doesn't like to be called that, but Matt, he was down for it. Like, he's a person that, like, if Enzo just brought the camera, he would come, like, he would show up. He you know, he's willing to work. You know, rest in peace, Fachi. I know that kind of, like, bro, we literally watch Matt go from like a go-lucky guy to like this man just like, oh, you can see in his face washed. Like, Enzo and them came in his life, this man's drugs and just, you know, rest in peace. Like, his friend got passed away, and he got like and I'm not saying, I'm not laughing or chuckling, but I'm just saying, like, it's just like he met Enzo in that toxic community, and his life became toxic. Like, I can't even explain it. But yeah, so I understand John not wanting to be in full support of Enzo. Then they just get to talking about John, like John's studio, like how much does he rent it out, and then they talk about Jitman just for a little bit.